What is going on, everyone? Today we have here Liquid Spectrum by Tobias Dostal, presented by Illusionist. This is something that's been long anticipated by magicians to come out, and finally it has. We've seen this and heard about this, and then pre-orders went up eventually, and everybody was excited, and finally it is reaching magicians' hands. Tobias is one creative individual and very quickly becoming one of my favorite magicians, to say the least. I have some other stuff by him that we're going to take a look at that's come out previously that we will be taking a look at here eventually, but this came in, and I mean, I haven't stopped. I literally have not stopped playing with this thing since I got it, and it's just so cool what you can do with this. Now, I'm not about exposure on this channel, so don't be looking for that if you're on here, okay? Unless I have permission, there will be no exposure. That's not how I operate. Anyway, basically, what you have here is more than just a trick. It's more than just an effect. It's honestly like a utility. It's like a tool, okay? You can do so much more with this than what is provided, given your imagination. And Tobias even says this in the instructional tutorial. He even talks about this, and he wants you to be creative with it and come up with things. Now he gives you several routines. The tutorial is a nice long tutorial that goes in depth on what you can do, multiple different routines. You do get some things with this to do some routines, which I can show you some of that. Get a Sharpie. It's just a standard Sharpie, but you do get a Sharpie, which is another great one. And a little rubber ducky. That's right, a little rubber ducky. Which is a very strange and bizarre effect that that's used for. But that just lets you know that there's so many different ideas that you can do with this. And as a magician, and I talk about this a lot on the channel, quick, impactful, visual magic that gets their attention right away, this definitely fits that bill. Now, you can do some of these effects as standalone effects, and you want to walk up and hit them with something real quick and just bizarre and everything else and grab their attention. You can absolutely do that with this. So in one aspect, I really like the idea of this as an opener, but the other thing, and Tobias talks about this as well, I really like this as kind of a gateway between tricks, kind of a bridge going from one effect to the other, or even in the middle of an effect, you're going from one thing and then all of a sudden just some weird stuff happens, and then you're on to the next thing. You kind of take a detour and then you're on to the next thing. That's great use for this, okay? I don't see you being and building out a full routine or anything with this. I just don't see that happening. All right, you probably could, somebody out there could, but in my opinion, solid, impactful opener material, or kind of like a bridge between effects that takes a little detour and throws a curveball at them that they don't see coming. That's definitely what this is going to be for, all right? And so why don't I go ahead and we'll do a couple of effects out of this and show you what that's all about, and then we'll come back and finish this up. It's just So there you go. A couple of effects. One of just hundreds you could probably come up with this, which is the lovely thing about it. The other lovely thing, and probably the most important thing in my mind, is this is super practical for the real world. I mean, it could be an EDC, everyday carry, no problem, because it doesn't take up very much pocket space whatsoever. So you could literally have this on you at any given moment, at any given time, especially if you're out and you're not necessarily performing a gig or anything, but you want to kind of get people's attention, have a reason to hand them your business card. All right, you could literally bust out some quick and you don't want people to know what you're going to do when you're doing this. You kind of just want it to happen, like a weird oddity that just happens out of nowhere, because it really is going to make them like, whoa, to just like catch them off guard big time. And that's what's great about this. So absolutely very practical for the real world and can be an everyday carry, no problem at all. It does not take up much pocket space whatsoever. And so because of that, this is easily one of my favorite tricks or utility devices, we'll say, to come out in a very long time. And Tobias is, like I said, becoming really fast, becoming one of my favorite magicians, because he's just, he's so off the wall, and you never know what he's going to come out with or what he's going to do next. And very creative individual and very, very cool. So yeah, definitely highly recommend this. Unfortunately, it's sold out, I think, already. They sold out really quick. So you might want to just keep an eye on illusionist.com and see when they restock it, because they will definitely restock this, especially after it's sold out like it did. So yeah, keep an eye out for it. This is definitely, I'm highly recommending this. You know, practice first. You don't want to just go out there and just do it right away. Practice first. Make sure you got everything down, because it's so worth it to just practice, get it right, and then go out there. And with the tutorial that Tobias gives you, it leaves no stone left unturned. All right, so make sure you're practicing and getting this down right, because it's so worth it in the end. And don't also overdo it either. You don't want to go out and just be melting stuff left and right and just nonstop, because then it kind of loses its luster. You want it to be a sporadic, just kind of, whoa, what just happened kind of thing. You know, that's what this is great for. So it's not something you want to do constantly. Now, if you're going table to table in a strolling session or something like that, that's fine. Plus, you can kind of change up what you're doing, and it won't be the same at each table or whatever, which is also great. But you don't want to just constantly be melting stuff like it. You know what I mean? So that's most tricks, though. You don't want to just constantly be doing the same thing. So just keep that in mind. I know most of you, I don't have to tell you that, but yeah, Liquid Spectrum by Tobias Dostal, presented by Illusionist, and keep an eye on it. I'm sure it'll be back in stock real soon. Very, very cool. And with that said, I will catch you all down the road.